Then she goes back out to the balcony. And she's sitting there on the edge, and Frank sneaks up on her and grabs her shoulder, and she almost falls out of her chair and off the balcony after he like startles her or whatever. And I love he's able to grab her and get her back into her wheelchair, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I thought you were about to jump off the balcony," and she goes, "I can't jump."
You're about to jump. I can't jump.
Hello and welcome back to the 158th episode. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shilligo, joined, as always, by the other host, Mr. Kyle.
I can't translate what Brian just said.
Kyle!
Yes.
You heard what I said. It's the same thing I say every time. This movie, we're talking about a film. I don't know where I found this. It was just in my bookmarks. And this movie is fucking nuts.
So fucking stupid. This film is
I loved this. When I say loved it, it was terrible. The film is Mummy Dearest.
You really want to go down this step so badly? I can make that happen.
It is not shot terribly. There's a lot of bad.
It's boring. It's shot boringly.
It's shot boring. It's not shot incompetently.
Yeah.
The audio is atrocious.
Truly terrible.
The audio is probably the worst part of this.
Adam, could you give us some privacy?
Autumn went to bed.
No, I just saw her.
I just saw her half hour ago sleep in bed downstairs.
Truly
and then
terrible.
The narrative is nonsensical.
No, absolute. We'll get into it. Absolute nonsense. But right off the bat, this movie stars Lou Ferrigno, Tara Reid, and Quentin Aaron, who's the kid who played is the dude who played the kid from The Blind Side.
Oh, Michael! I thought that was him.
Him.
I thought that was him. I was like, "Holy shit, Michael Orr!"
Yes, that's him. It's that actor.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It's amazing. So just a banger of a cast. This movie has a 2.1 on IMDb.
I thought he looked rather big even compared to Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
a big old
wow,
dude.
You're making Lou Ferrigno look small, dude.
Yeah, but holy shit. The movie is called Mummy Dearest. We're just
Mummy Dearest.
Mummy Dearest, because that is a thing that makes no sense that we'll get to. This absolutely felt like a movie where they had a house, a location, and then they wrote a plot around that location.
But the house is so shitty, though.
It's so shitty, but it's weird. And I think that's what they were thinking. They're like, look at this weird fucking house that we can get access to. We can do something with this, right?
Yeah,
it's
my buddy dad, he has a rental property up in the hills.
Yeah.
Maybe we can shoot there?
Yeah, it's falling apart. It's painted by a serial killer. Like, it's decorated by a literal serial killer, I feel like. But yeah, so it might make for a good horror movie. And they're like, all right, let's do it. And they're like, why is there so much Egyptian shit? I don't know. Maybe we can work that into the plot somehow.
There's a lot of shots in here where they get these shots of the hill. It was just like Beverly Hills or
I don't know.
But there's a lot of shots, and especially they had like this drone.
At the beginning during the credits.
They have this, and I'm like, I'm starting to get some like Safe House vibes from this. That Showtime movie we did with Patrick
Stewart. It looks like the same kind of area,
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of those drone shots during the opening credits, the third shot of this movie that isn't a credit, the third actual shot of footage in this movie, you can see the shadow of the drone on the roofs of the houses as
now,
it flies
Brian,
over.
as a professional drone pilot,
you would like tend to look at where the sun is, and then also just like, oh look, I can see my like it's especially for a narrative thing like that, it's just so stupid. It's such a terrible. It's just
derp. You could even be forgiven to go into After Effects and just use a blur tool.
It would be super. Yeah, you could kind of like cheat a way of like kind of getting it, making it less noticeable. Yeah, you would not be that hard, but nope, they just left it in. So then we get into this chiropractor's office.
Yes.
This opening premise is fucking wild.
Okay, so there is a patient, I guess, at this doctor's office. Brian, who is that patient?
The patient is The bad guy from The Amazing Ape.
Richard Tyson.
Yes. I was like, is that the bad guy from The Amazing Ape?
Yes.
It is absolutely. The villain from The Amazing Ape. Yeah, he's just in there and he's like leaving or whatever. And then we're introduced to our main character, Autumn. One of our main characters, Autumn, who is like the receptionist or nurse or something at this chiropractor office. And then her mom shows up, Scarlett. And they have the most psychotic relationship that has ever existed from moment one.
What is all this makeup? You look like you're trying to work it.
What are you doing here, Mom?
I have an appointment.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
They just hate each other, both of them. And the daughter in specific is, I was like, what is wrong with your child? She is insane to her mother, like nonstop.
No, I'm serious. You're not listening. There's a bad energy.
The only one bringing a bad energy in here is you.
She just hates her mom entirely.
Mom, you're so controlling of my life.
We have seen zero evidence of this. She just says that, but it's like, okay. But this opening scene is so wild because her mom walks in and I don't even know why she's there.
What are you doing here, Mom?
I have an appointment.
No, you don't.
Because apparently she doesn't have an appointment.
No.
Also, she seems to think the doctor is a quack.
People say the same thing about your craniosacral therapy that you say about Dr.
with
Jason.
real chiropractors, and I know more about the spine than that fraud.
See? There. You're just here to try to discredit Dr. Jason.
Dr. Jason is a...
She says that numerous times.
I mean, he kind of is.
Yes. Well, he's also like a serial killer. I don't even know like what he like intentionally fucks her up. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. But yeah, she's like, no, he's a quack. And then they have this weird conversation where the daughter's like, basically, I think the mom thinks that what she does, which is nothing related to chiropractic, she does another bullshit thing
it's
called
like
cranial sacral therapy, which is nothing.
Yeah, it's right up there with healing with crystals.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, I use the spinal fluid to move the humors or whatever. It's like fucking nonsense or whatever.
Okay.
I'm connecting with the flow of my cerebral spinal fluid as it flows from cranium to sacrum and back, so I can more fully connect with yours.
Bull fucking shit!
By the way, who is the doctor in this chiropractic?
Michael Perry.
What?
We saw in a reunion of previous fucking.
Oh, don't worry,
stars.
We're not done yet.
No, not at all.
But wait, there's more.
Holy shit! But she thinks he's a crank, but then he walks up. And it's just like, hey, come on in. I'll adjust your back. And she goes in with them?
Yeah.
With my lower back pain.
Oh, I can help you with that. Okay, just relax.
I was like, what is happening? She just had this whole screamy conversation with her daughter about how this guy's full of shit or whatever. But then as soon as he walks out, she's like, oh, okay.
I guess maybe she's like super defiant, be like, look, he's gonna do this, and I'll still be in as much pain.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what she's going for.
Pride being the deadly sin there.
Yeah. But then, so she goes into and lays down on the table, and he's doing his nonsense.
He gets his knee on her back. And is like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and go for this position. Sure.
Crack! And literally paralyzes her, just breaks her back or something.
No, that's not right.
Who's the doctor here? Hold still.
No.
We don't know exactly. They never say exactly what she said. There's some sort of nerve. She's like, I could still walk later, but
he is presumably sued into oblivion.
Yeah, which the daughter is pissed about at the mom.
And whose fault is it Dr. Jason closed down anyway?
Blame the victim. I did not do this to myself.
Please blame me.
I blame him, but...
There's a conversation later, because then we cut, and it's like 7 weeks later, and they're moving into Frank's house, and as she's wheeling her in, the daughter is like, how dare? She's like, they have this crazy argument where the mom's like, I might walk again one day, and the daughter's like, no, you're paralyzed, and punches her in the leg.
Look at my leg.
A twitching muscle doesn't mean... Did you even feel that?
What? I was like, what
That's
the
great.
fuck is But then she's like,
that reminds me of Alien Resurrection, where Ron Perlman throws a dagger into that guy's leg.
yeah. But then she's mad at her mom for getting her doctor's office shut down. I was like, the guy intentionally broke her back. What the fuck is going on?
And whose fault is it Dr. Jason closed down anyway? No.
This isn't a suing scenario where somebody like threw a wet floor sign off to the side and pretended to slip and fall. No, he literally broke her spine.
Snapped her spine. It's amazing. Oh, and I did love that scene though, because we get like horror movie music as he's doing it, and I was like, I'm into this.
Oh,
this is fun.
Hey, no, that you're too familiar. It's
see the problem.
So they're moving into Frank's house, who is her boyfriend, is Autumn's boyfriend, and Autumn is very worried that Scarlett's gonna fuck up her relationship with Frank. She's like, don't get involved in my life like you always do and fuck everything up or whatever. And she's like, I won't. Whatever, fine.
Okay.
You're so kind to take in cripples.
Promise me
Promise what?
that you won't do what you always do. Interfere in my relationship. Tell me what a huge mistake I'm making. Warn me that there's something wrong with Frank.
What if there is something?
No what ifs.
And then they wheel into the front door, and this is where we get our first shot of the interior of this house.
With the front, the inside of the front door is insane.
It's painted like an Egyptian tomb.
Yes.
like a poor man's copy of an Egyptian tomb, and there's just Egyptian shit everywhere. And she rolls up to this statue and is like touches it, and it like blows onto her. She doesn't even touch it. She looks at it and it like falls on her or something. I don't know what's going on there. And then it cuts to her in the bathroom, like having a panic attack, which, by the way, spoilers, 95% of the time that the mother is on screen in this movie, she will be actively having a panic attack.
She's like not on the whole point of it. It's unreliable narrative. She's
Right.
not on the level.
No, yeah, she's kind of, I guess, traumatized from the back thing and is like, I don't know. Yeah, she's apparently like losing it or something, but she's literally hyperventilating 95% of this movie. It's fucking insane. But she's in this bathroom, which, as you mentioned earlier, this place is like a shithole. It's like the paint is like peeling off the walls, and it like looks like it's falling apart.
Like this place might have been condemned. It might have been foreclosed on.
It legitimately looks like it should be condemned if it has not been.
Like somebody bought they bought this property to flip it, and they were like, "Hey, this could make for a good movie set. Can you hold off the reconstruction for a second?"
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the insurance for this would have been out through the roof. It's just like fucking.
Well, especially when you have like
the balcony.
Yeah, when you, I'm not gonna say you have marketable people like Lou Ferrigno and Tara Reid.
Yeah,
but like you have people who are going to demand some level of insurance because of these conditions.
You would think. It's fucking crazy. But I will say this for the movie's credit. I was laughing so hard at the mom's overwrought like panic attack acting that the first jump scare in this movie legitimately got me. I was ill prepared because I was like so suckered in by how bad the mom's like overwrought her acting was, and then this mummy's face just pops up behind her, and I was like, "Holy shit!" It actually got me. It's like the only jump scare in the movie, but it worked pretty well.
I know the decor's a little.
Do you see it?
A what?
It's a spider and it screams.
Spider? You know I hate creepy crawly things even more than you do.
She's fine. She starts kind of exploring the house. We go into this other room where there's a bird cage, and the bird's name is Tutankhamun, I guess. Also, did you
everything is Egyptian themed?
Yes. Also, did you notice there seemed to be a window behind the bird cage in the corner that was covered in motherboards? like computer motherboards.
What?
Yes. It looks to me
God.
like an entire window that has been like tiled over with computer motherboards.
Well, normally you use
comes
aluminum foils, so
it's fucking wild. I don't know what was going on. I think it was just like an eccentric artist's house, and they just they got it as it was like dilapidated.
That does make more sense. I mean, it is in the hills.
Yeah, I think that's what was going on, but whatever.
So, the house has a serious character. Everywhere you look.
Serial killer written on it everywhere you look.
Mom, please.
Please stop.
That bird clearly wants out of here.
Then we're introduced to Frank, who just appears shirtless.
Yes.
An iron X vibration hook.
And this is the boyfriend of Autumn or whatever, and he has an issue.
He's got like issue with his hands, his nerves
and
are
we
like
will slowly find out what happened there. But yes, he walks in and his arms, he's doing this like twitchy thing, and he's like, I hope you can help me, to the mom or whatever.
What promise did you make my boyfriend?
She said she would help my hands.
Are you making promises you can't keep, huh?
And she's like, oh my God, it's worse than I thought. And he's like, does that mean you can't help my hands? And I'm like, what is happening? Okay.
What is going on here?
Yeah, we will find out what happened. I'm still unclear of exactly what happened, but we will get told of something of what happened.
Please stop.
Oh my God. It's worse than I thought.
Does that mean you can't keep your promise?
What promise did you make my boyfriend?
She said she would help my hands.
Then, so she's gonna start doing cranial sacral therapy on him, which
Yes.
again is just nonsense, like fucking.
She's like
spirit
moving
medicine.
the cerebral
energies.
spinal
yes,
fluid.
Yeah, exactly. But I love when he gets in there and she's like, "You don't have to be naked for this," and he's just like completely nude. It's just
Okay.
like, oh, okay.
You don't have to be naked for cranial sacral therapy.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I thought you would maybe...
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Just save the show for Autumn.
But I love this. So you talked about how the audio is terrible in this scene.
This is where it starts getting real bad.
And it's so wild because so much of this movie is ADR'd, like so much of it, and like terribly ADR'd.
Don't start.
No, I'm serious. You're not listening. There's a bad energy.
The only one bringing a bad energy in here is you. The only one bringing a bad energy in here is you.
But for some reason, this scene, he's laying on this massage table, and he's like, his face is like pushed against it, so you can't hear him, but they just use that audio. He's just like,
don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Does your still feel drying?
he's like talking into the
where because clearly they were lobbed for this.
Yeah.
Where do you think his lob was? Do you think it was like right here?
Yeah, like underneath his chest or something. I don't know, but it sounds.
She
like
doesn't sound
dog
terrible.
shit.
She doesn't sound terrible.
She sounds fine.
He sounds god awful.
He sounds terrible. It's like, why wouldn't you just ADR that? You've ADR'd like a million things. Whatever.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
Autumn went to bed. I just saw her half hour ago sleep in bed downstairs.
By the way, a lot of this guy's stuff was just not. I don't think it was ADR. I think they couldn't get the guy. The guy who played Frank.
That could be what
I don't
it
think
was.
they could get him back for the ADR.
That's probably, and that could be what it was, because that's what I was saying. Like, why wouldn't you ADR?
And by the way,
Yeah.
the person who played Autumn, the daughter, did a horrible job at ADR.
I think it might be a different person.
You think
I did
so?
a little bit of searching, and the actress who plays the daughter is Russian. And has a slight accent. She has like a YouTube channel and stuff. She has a slight accent.
Do you have this confusion when you're driving and there's a yellow light and you don't know if you have to go faster or stop, go faster or stop, go faster and stop?
And the actress in the movie does not have any accent.
Losing my job only sped up the relationship steps. And whose fault is it Dr. Jason closed down anyway?
Could you go a little more Valley Girl?
So I think they may have got somebody else entirely to do her voice,
hilarious.
potentially. I don't know for sure.
Because nothing matches up.
You warn me about everyone, but no more. And certainly not about the man who was kind enough to take you in.
No, it's terrible.
I knew it. This is about me and Frank.
Meanwhile, Quentin shows up, and this is where we're introduced to Quentin, who plays Quentin. Quentin Aaron, the actor, plays Quentin something in the thing. He shows up at the front door, and we get like a jump scare of him being at the door.
Who scared me?
And he gives her a religious pamphlet, and he's like, don't let him see it, don't.
Yeah, he's a Jehovah's Witness.
I have this pamphlet that I want to give to you. It's about what happens after you die. it makes what you do before you die really that much important. Just
yeah, but the religious pamphlet doesn't have anything to do with that. It's all a cover. We find out a ruse.
Which I think he didn't know that before he got there. I don't think he got a single script before he got there, and they were just like, "Yeah, just wear whatever," because he did not show up with the traditional button.
Well, he's their neighbor though, so I think it's supposed to be he was just like next door.
Man, I'm Quentin Jonesboro. I live next door.
Like because he says I'm your neighbor.
No. Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons.
You're thinking of Mormons.
No. They're both similar in that regard. They come surgically stitched with those clothes attached. Okay, that's the only way to make sense why they wear the same thing every day.
I actually don't know if I've ever had a Jehovah's Witness come to my door. I get the pamphlet, every now and then you get the pamphlets, but I don't think I've had Mormons come to the door before, but anyways. So I don't know if I know what Jehovah's
every
Witnesses
Mormon is
wear.
born with a black tie.
I mean, they do always look the exact same, but
don't let him see it.
Who?
Everything all right? Yes.
Yeah.
Hide the pamphlet.
But anyway, so he gives her this pamphlet, and he's like, "Don't let Frank see it. Shh, don't let Frank see it." And then she's like, "Okay." And then she looks at it later, and it just says "Get out" in all giant red letters. Oh, incredible. Also, the daughter gets very upset that Frank was just like in his underwear for this session with her mom. She's like, "Why was he naked? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You don't have to be naked for craniosacral therapy. How thoroughly do you have to check out my boyfriend's mom?
Also, Frank is apparently the Phantom of the Opera because he just sits in his basement and plays the organ. It's kind of and plays it terribly, super unconvincingly. Like he just
that's exactly why every time they'll get him getting in front, hit like one or two keys, and then immediately cut to where you can't see his fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, and they didn't even get somebody who could do it to like film their hands. They just don't show him playing it, and when they do, it looks very clearly terrible. It's kind of amazing.
Anyway, very like tortured soul where he's like, oh.
Yeah, he's Phantom of the Opera. It's literally, that's exactly what's going on here. So then we cut to like the next day or whatever, and the mom is whacking at an orange with a knife, just like.
Listen, I just want to know if I can switch medications.
Chopping it up, and then she goes out to the balcony, which is a chaos balcony.
This is the most unsafe fucking thing on the planet.
What is happening on this?
The balcony, all right. Behind you, we have the building.
Yeah, the house.
To your left, we have railing. In front of you, we have railing. To the left, immediate death trap for anybody in a wheelchair.
Yes, literally just a drop off of this like second story building
to an unfinished deck.
Yeah, that is just like a hole in the ground with dirt and like rafters for the deck or whatever. So you literally fall on it and like snap in half when you hit one of the. Yeah, absolutely. It's a death trap, and she rolls right up to the edge of it and starts eating her orange and starts choking to death. And Kyle, this scene is fucking insane, and I love it so much.
So good. Quentin notices.
He sees from his house across the way. He sees her choking to death on her balcony, and he comes running up and gets behind her and grabs her and starts doing the Heimlich maneuver on her.
I got you.
And she loses her mind and grabs a knife and slashes him.
Yes, cuts him.
Hold on. I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to. Wait. I'm not gonna hurt you, Miss, sweetie. I'm just. Ow!
And then as he drops the knife, she runs over his hand.
Yes, it's so comically stupid.
Ow! I'm just trying to help you.
And then she gets like the massage oil and is like squirting him in the face.
Hurry! Stop!
It's hilarious. hilarious. And he's like, what are you doing? I've literally saved your life. What is happening?
The moral of the scene is no good deed goes unpunished.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
I'll do it again!
I saved your life! What you... Stop it!
But anyway, so she's like, oh, she calms down and realizes he was helping her. And then she has to bandage his wounds. And then
like, might need actual stitches.
Literally, yes, she slashed him with like a giant, kitchen knife. And the shot of her bandaging this, they couldn't even manage to get some real gauze and tape or something. She's like band-aiding, like small band-aiding cotton balls to his arm.
I saw Frank and your daughter leave from my window, and I know he's hiding something down there.
I should have knocked on the front door.
I did.
It looks so ridiculous. It's so stupid. Oh my God. And then the thing that I don't understand is that at the end of this, he's trying to explain to her. He's like, hey, you got to look into Frank. Something's going on with Frank. And she's like, she doesn't like Frank, but she will not buy and is like anything Quentin is telling her.
He's not right, okay?
Why are you telling me and not my daughter?
She's in love with that man. She's not gonna listen to me.
Why are you trying to scare me, Quentin?
I'm not. I'm trying to help you.
She's like being an asshole to him, even though she already didn't trust Frank. But for whatever, he's like,
she didn't trust him because she thought he was just like all the other boyfriends or whatever, and it's just like, you know, a scumbag. She didn't think he was a fucking killer.
Fair enough. But he's like, hey, there was a couple here before, they're missing, blah, 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 that sort of thing.
Look, his last tenants moved in here, but they never moved out.
If you ever come back here again uninvited, I'm calling the police.
Then she goes back out to the balcony. And she's sitting there on the edge, and Frank sneaks up on her and grabs her shoulder, and she almost falls out of her chair and off the balcony after he like startles her or whatever. And I love he's able to grab her and get her back into her wheelchair, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I thought you were about to jump off the balcony," and she goes, "I can't jump."
I thought you were about to jump.
I can't jump.
Which is
so good.
Oh my God, this shit was killing me. And then she goes back inside and decides she needs to get rid of her pills. And her daughter walks in as she's throwing her pills in the trash because apparently she thinks the pills are causing
They're
issues.
not even psychotic medication. Like literally.
Later she says, yeah, the daughter.
Percocet and like morphine.
Percocet and morphine. I'm like, what?
Which are
It's the drugs. This Percocet morphine is a taliprum cocktail.
You know, pain reducing narcotics.
Which I guess would be for like something to do with the injury, but it seems like crazy to be on whatever.
Which I gotta say, you're mixing both those. That's some good shit.
Yeah, I was saying, it's incredible that she's coherent at all in this movie and not just like laying in a coma. In a coma, yeah. But sure.
What are you doing? Why are you throwing your pills away?
But I love, she says, she throws away the pills, and the daughter's like, why are you throwing your pills away? And she says, because there is no such thing as ghosts.
Why are you throwing your pills away?
Because there is no such thing as ghosts.
What?
And I was like,
what?
How do those two things add up together? What is going on? What is going on?
Who the fuck are you talking to? Truman Show.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
So weird. But the daughter's very mad and threatens to like cut her out of her life. She's like, you're fucking up everything. I hate you so much, Mom.
I'm gonna take you to, what was it, Shady Meadows or something like that?
Yeah, later she threatens to take her.
I guess that's a well-known, because I've heard it before. I guess it's a well-known institution?
Tomorrow I'll check you into Gateways.
The mental ward?
I have no idea. I don't know. It's probably an LA thing or whatever. But then, so we cut to the next day. She's cutting, and that's later where she threatens to take her to the home or whatever, to the mental institution. But here we cut, and she's doing her next fucking Reiki session or whatever with Frank, and we start getting these flashbacks.
Yeah, she starts connecting to his memories.
Look at you. You're in your Egyptian clothes. Oh.
Yeah, and this is like chaos. I have no idea what's going on. We get a scene of someone dressed up in Egyptian clothes, then then some kids standing by a grave where a woman is being buried like a mummy. Then Tara Reid is there, and then Frank's hands get smashed in the piano.
I couldn't recognize that as Tara Reid. I mean, it was mostly because she has those
giant glasses. Yeah. Then Ken Davidian is there in a flashback, and he's mad at a kid.
Yes.
And then Lou Ferrigno shows up and tries to choke Frank, and I was like, what is happening?
So, I mean, this is just a massive collage of previous actors we've had.
Yeah, it is chaos, and yeah, it is. This is truly our cinematic.
I don't think we've had Ken Davidian in here since.
Yeah, what was the last? There was only one movie I think we've had him in.
Was it Divine Enforcer? Wasn't he the? I think he was. Pimp dude.
That scene is great. That scene's amazing because like it not only does it connect a previous thing with the broken arm dude, but it's got Ken Davidian shooting at a priest.
Oh, this movie's crazy.
There's something I can do for you, Father?
She sees all these flashes, then she starts going back through these memories and piecing it all together, and we find out that the kid was Frank as a child.
Yes.
And for some reason, his mom dressed him up as an Egyptian. I don't know what any of that has to do with anything.
Good choice. That's my favorite crown. Thank you, Pharaoh.
What are you doing, Francis? You know better than this.
But your relationship with your grandfather wasn't so happy?
What? But then Ken Davidian, who was his grandfather, shows up and is like really mad that he puts the crown on his mom, or like there was some crown or something that was special or valuable. And then I think the idea is that Ken Davidian murdered his mom
with the Anubis statue.
Yeah,
everybody gets killed with that fucking Anubis statue.
The Anubis statue is like cursed or something. I guess
it does shepherd people to the afterlife.
There you go. But I think the idea, is Ken Davidian murders mom, and then I guess he
forces the kid to
mummify her.
Yes,
mummify her and dig her grave. Which is fucking insane. I love it so much. And he buries her in the backyard, but then he steals the crown and puts it on her. And I thought that was going to matter. And now when we see the mummy later, because there is a mummy, which we saw once already, she is wearing the crown. But I don't think there's actually a mummy in this movie, Kyle.
No.
Spoilers,
no,
there's not a mummy, right?
It's
all in her head. So then what the fuck is all of this chaos with the mummy and the I don't know. Nonsense.
I was a little disappointed that it's called Mummy Dearest.
Yes.
And we didn't get an allure to one of the famous scenes from Mommy Dearest. Is Mommy Dearest?
What?
I'm trying to remember what Mommy Dearest was also.
I'm aware that's a thing. Right? I've never seen it. I don't know anything about it.
But if I was something akin to if I wasn't in this chair, but you are, Blanche. You are in the chair. You've heard that before, right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Brian's an uncultured swine.
You're right, because I don't know Mommy Dearest. I'm sorry. Oh goodness. But then we get this great moment where Frank is talking. I don't even remember who he says this to and in what context, but he's talking about Tara Reid's character, and he says, I think he says it to Scarlett. He says, she had a beautiful voice.
But her voice. She had a beautiful voice.
And I'm like, look, I'm not here trying to be mean, but of all the nice things I could think to say about Tara Reid, she has a beautiful voice would probably not be in my top 5.
Oh no, I completely got the movie fucked up. Okay, never mind. Just ignore me. It's from whatever,
fucking idiot.
It's from whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Who's uncultured now, you fuck?
You didn't know the quote.
Who's uncultured now, you fuck? Plus, you missed my
Mommy Dearest was.
You missed my great joke about Tara Reid's voice.
I'm sorry. Mommy Dearest was Faye Dunaway. No more wire hangers ever.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We can talk about yes. Oh my god. What? Once again, there's a scene where she's walking up a flight of stairs.
Yes, and falls over, and he just like walks past her.
Excuse me. Please.
Yeah, he does. But like there's a line that is said, and then it's repeated 10 seconds
like,
later.
Help me or something. She says like,
I couldn't understand it.
Excuse me. Please. Excuse me.
I don't even know what it's hard to understand, but it's something like, can you help me or something like that. And he just like goes past her down to the organ and starts playing organ.
Yes.
And then she comes in and he gets attacked by Lou Ferrigno.
That's what caused the bruising around her eyes.
I think.
Yes, what is... Okay.
And then I think accidentally slams the organ shut on Frank's hands. I don't know because by the end
is what
of this,
causes like his arm injury,
his
or
nerve issues or whatever that he's having. And then I don't know, but there's a great moment where Lou Ferrigno grabs her after that and she screams, and the sound of the scream is the funniest. I'll just put it in. It's I replayed it like 6 times just to listen to the Tara Reid scream in that moment. Then he gets very upset back in modern time, in the current timeline. Frank gets very upset because he's just triggering all of his trauma or whatever. And then also the bird, Tutankhamun, keeps yelling, please stop at him over and over again.
Please stop.
Stop it.
Please stop.
I said stop it.
Please stop.
And he just murders
the
it.
bird.
Yes.
My favorite moment about this scene, though, is at the end. He snaps, loses his mind, goes over to the bird cage, murders his pet bird, comes back. Scarlett is sitting there the whole time. He like falls on the table sobbing, and she walks up to him and is like, or wheels up to him and is like, this was a great healing experience. Well done! I was like, what?
This is big step toward healing. And we'll continue tomorrow night.
He just murdered his pet bird in front of you. What are you talking about? That's incredible. But then she goes and has a shivery panic attack in her bedroom. Because she's very upset about whatever. Maybe she was, when she said this was a breakthrough, she was just trying to like placate him so he didn't snap on her. Maybe, I guess is I don't know. But she's in her bedroom having a panic attack because now I think she thinks that Frank killed Tara Reid and Lou Ferrigno.
Maybe both of them. Just think he killed that bird.
Like murdered them both, I think is the idea. I don't know.
It gets far weirder than that.
Yeah, but then she just throws herself out of her wheelchair, and I'm not even sure what she was trying to do in this scene. She just falls out of her wheelchair on the floor. And then Frank walks into the room and is like, what's up? I just wanted to found your phone. Because earlier she dropped her cell phone. He's like, I got your phone. And he like walks over and sets it on her crotch and then like leaves. It's very weird. I don't understand what is going on here.
Put it right here.
Then the next day, I think he leaves for work, and he's also like a sociopath because he has nothing in his refrigerator except for his labeled meal lunches for every day of the week.
And it's like 2 items.
It's like a piece of fruit and like a sandwich or something, and it's just like in these clear. It's very weird. But he takes one of his lunches and he goes to lunch or he goes to work. And while he's gone, she goes to Quentin's. And he takes her to the car shop.
Yes.
To give her some information. Because he's like, this is the car that belonged to Lou Ferrigno and Tara Reid, I think. And they never left. And now it's here. And she's like, well, what the fuck does this tell me?
Okay.
Like, this is meaningless.
All
like,
right.
They had a car and now it's in this shop. What it means nothing. Which is basically what she says.
And an abandoned car didn't prove anything.
That's what the police said.
You called the police? They investigated.
They asked him some questions, but no body, no investigation.
And then Lemmy from
Motorhead
shows up and is like, "Get the fuck out of my shop! What are you doing here?" And they're like, oh, "Okay, bye."
Rest in peace, Lemmy.
And then they just leave. Then she gets back home and she gets binoculars out to look at the ground.
That is
10 feet away.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So dumb.
I love it so much. But, and I don't know, I guess she thought she could see the dead bodies with the binoculars. I don't know what she thought.
Ground penetrating radar.
Yeah, but she sees the dirt turned over and she's like, that looks like a pretty big grave for a bird.
First thing these two can come
In the arms of the angel.
And it's like, I mean, but did he even bury the bird? And what the ground is all messed up because they were clearly doing like some sort of renovation. I don't know, whatever. It's so stupid. But then she's got to get down there because it's in the basement.
Yes.
So she throws her wheelchair down the stairs and then just slides down the stairs after it.
There's something later at the end of this movie that had me laughing my ass off.
It's incredible. We'll get
yes, we will get
oh my God. But so she slides down the stairs. Also, I swear we keep getting the TARDIS landing sound effect.
Yeah.
We get like the it's so weird. But she gets down to the basement and she's able to get out into the back.
And she's using her crutch to like dig up.
Yeah, like scrape around in the dirt and does not find anything because of course a crutch is not a good digging implement. Like I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. But then all of a sudden Frank comes back home and she's stuck down there and I was like, what? To begin with, what was your plan for getting out of the basement? Like, she did not have one.
Okay.
Her plan is she just crawls all the way back inside and then pretends like she fell down the stairs. And she's like, oh no! And Frank's there and he's like, oh look, you fell. And he picks her up and carries her back upstairs or whatever.
And then she tells her daughter that they're having an affair.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
What's going on with you two? You caught us. We're having an affair.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah, that shit cracked me. Oh, there's a little moment when she gets down onto the deck where she sticks her hand onto a rusty nail.
Yes.
and
God.
And hyperventilates more. And I was like, the director's notes for her performance, every scene must have been like, can you just hyperventilate more?
We need you to be very, very nervous and scared.
Yes.
All the time.
More nervous is more better. He carries her back up, and like you said, the daughter walks in, and the daughter's like, what the fuck? And she's like, you're right, you caught us having an affair. And it's like, and then the daughter being a shit is like you could even have an affair in your condition.
You caught us. We're having an affair.
Very funny, like it's even possible in your condition.
And I'm like, she's not dead. Like, what do you mean?
No.
You could have an affair. She's in a wheelchair. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Fucking Stephen Hawking's had an affair, and that man was turned into stone.
I was like, that makes no sense. She could absolutely have an affair. But she left one of her crutches at the scene of the crime, or not like a piece of her crutch, like the arm thing is like stuck on the ground, or like it's left behind, so the guy's gonna know that she was down there. Then I guess it's the next day because he leaves for work again, and she goes out to the balcony. And then as she sees him leaving, she turns around to like go back inside and she gets this look on her face like, and then it cuts and there's a mummy standing there. And I laughed so hard because there's just a mummy standing on the veranda. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then the mummy like picks her up and is like choking her and shit, and then sets her back in the chair. And again, none of this I think actually happens. It's all in her head, I think is the idea. At least I think. But then I didn't understand. After she gets choked, at least in her head, she almost gets choked to death by a mummy. She immediately rolls over to the refrigerator and looks inside and then shuts it and moves on. I was like, what was that? Why? What is happening? What is happening? then Frank comes back home from work or whatever. I guess he comes home. I don't know. Whatever. He shows up. He shows up and he just knocks her out, and then he starts burying her in the backyard.
Please no.
Oh, what surprise. It's a dream.
Oh my God.
It was all a nightmare.
Unreliable narrative.
Yeah.
Or I guess unreliable narrator.
Yeah, then she gets in another big argument with her daughter, and her daughter's just truly the worst person in the history of the world. It's just like a truly evil person.
Just straight out.
Help? You don't help me. You criticize, control, and undermine me. You're emotionally toxic for me. And now you're a danger to yourself as well. I warned you.
No, Autumn, no.
Scarlett realizes she has one day to try to prove that Frank is a serial killer or something. I guess.
She's
I
got,
don't
like,
even know.
Newspaper clippings and stuff, which is just printed off on some computer paper.
Yeah, but she's got one day to prove it, so she's gonna have her next session with Frank. And I gotta talk about one. We wake up, I guess, the next day. I don't know what happens, but Autumn wakes up and she was sleeping on a futon. Isn't this her boyfriend's house?
Yeah.
Why does he have her sleeping on the futon in like the extra room in the basement? That doesn't make any sense. But then Quentin shows up, and all of this is happening at once. Quentin shows up and he's digging in the backyard, I guess, to find evidence or whatever, to find whatever. And then we find out through, I think, more flashbacks from the fucking cranial sacral therapy session that Lou Ferrigno was Tara Reid's brother.
Matthew Bradley was not Angela's abusive boyfriend.
And he came to help her after she had eye surgery?
Matthew Bradley was a loving brother who came here to help his sister after she recovered from eye surgery after her husband died.
There was a whole thing about eye surgery that I was like, what the fuck is happening?
So that's why she had the shades on.
I guess that, I feel like they had to work that in because Tara Reid wouldn't take the sunglasses off or something.
I can't let people see my crow's feet.
And I was just like, and so they're like, well, you had eye surgery or whatever. And Frank thinks that Lou Ferrigno was abusive to Tara Reid, and Scarlett thinks that Frank shot both of them. But I will say this, Kyle, I have no idea what the fuck actually happened in that. I have no idea what actually happened. But anyways, Quentin is still now out and back digging. He finds a head and picks it up, and then it's like, oh, gross, a head. And it's like, buddy, what did you think it was?
Yeah, why did you pick it up?
Why did you pick it up? But then Autumn knocks him unconscious with a shovel. And I don't know why.
People go unconscious a lot in this movie.
Yeah, they really do. But he gets knocked out, and then meanwhile now Frank and Scarlett are having a face-off, and she's like attacking him with her wheelchair. I don't even know why they're having but she's like hitting him with her wheelchair, and he's like pushing the fucking massage table into her and shit. It's wild. And then she stabs him with burning ends. That's right. Yes. It's kind of amazing. And then she tries to roll away and can't stop and rolls into the front door and like bangs her knees into the front door.
No.
It's hilarious.
And she starts yelling at her legs.
Work, damn it!
Now is when I need you. Now.
It's like, what the fuck is happening? This whole movie is
the ending is just
nuts.
pure chaos.
Meanwhile, now, who is chasing? I think Frank is chasing Autumn. Autumn has realized that something's wrong with Frank.
Yes.
He's chasing Autumn, and she's like running around through the backyard, and she has this great moment where she tries to go out a gate and it's locked and she can't get out, and she comes back and there's a hanging plant and she like swings it at him.
Yeah.
And it does nothing, obviously. Yeah.
That was annoying.
Fucking dying in this
They get into this fight at the bottom of the stairs, and Mom Bear's gotta be Mama Bear, and she's like, I gotta get down there.
Down there.
Normal thing would be like, maybe just wheel yourself down
Or just get off the chair and slide down the stairs or whatever.
No. She does what everybody did when they were like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get in the cardboard box. You get in the cardboard box and you fucking slide down those stairs like they're out, like you're doing a fucking ski jump in the Olympics. Yeah, you're doing a fucking luge in the Olympics, baby.
I'm coming on him!
It's amazing. And then I love it. They get down to the bottom and they all just end up in a pile, like flailing at each other.
It looks ridiculous.
And then I think he's trying to kiss Autumn at one point. It's so weird. The whole thing is chaos. I could not tell anything that was happening.
madness ends when Quentin bashes Frank over the head with what?
The idol or the Anubis statue or whatever. Yeah, so Quentin has come back, he's regained consciousness, comes in to save the day, and what I was really hoping the twist was gonna be is that Quentin was the serial killer. I thought that was gonna be the big reveal, is that this unassuming neighbor actually ended up being the guy who was like responsible for everything, and he was like telling people that, oh, Frank is whatever, but I still don't know who is the actual serial killer, if anybody. But anyway, so he clubs him over the head, and then they get outside, and they're like, we gotta figure out what happened. They found the body of Tara Reid. That was the head they found. They don't know where Lou Ferrigno is. So they find a locked door.
Yeah, and Frank has a key around his neck.
Yeah. So they get the key and
They open the door, and the Hulk comes forth.
He's just like, bruh!
How is this guy alive? How long has he been there?
Was Frank feeding him? What is happening? I have no idea what
was that the meals that were in the refrigerator?
Oh, he wasn't going to work. He was taking them to Lou Ferrigno.
They needed a better explanation.
Yeah, that did not make any sense at all. But he gets out, and then immediately I think he thinks that Autumn is Tara Reid's character because he's calling her Angel or whatever. Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
Angel?
And then I think we find out that Lou Ferrigno was like a serial killer who killed Tara Reid's old boyfriend in a car accident.
When you gonna learn not to lead these men on? I keep having to get rid of them. First, that idiot you married. Of course, you weren't supposed to be in the car with him.
Yeah. Okay, so Lou Ferrigno's character is like
an overprotective brother.
Yeah, he's like, you keep screwing up, you keep choosing this stuff. I'm the person who does best by you. You never listen to me.
You never listen to me. And that's why I had to take care of that old boyfriend. You weren't supposed to be in the car, though, or whatever. He says something like that. And so I think the implication is that he killed her previous boyfriend before Frank. And then maybe that's why she needed eye surgery, was that she was in the car, like, and there was a car accident or something. And I guess that's what's going on. I have no idea. So at this point, though, everybody is fucked up. They're all just crawling around on the ground. It's, like, very funny. But I think the idea, so Lou Ferrigno is cornering Autumn, and he's like gonna kill her, or no, he's strangling, somebody's strangling Quentin at one point. I think it's Lou Ferrigno, I don't remember. But he finally gets to Autumn, and he's gonna throw her down the steps. He keeps saying, like, I'll throw you down the steps or whatever.
Do you really want to go down these steps so badly? I can make that happen.
But Frank gets there just in time, and I don't even, did he hit him with the statue?
He hits him with the statue. Everybody gets hit by this fucking statue.
And knocks him out, and then he falls
down he falls down the stairs and dies?
Dies, I guess? I don't know.
He dies in a very comfortable position.
Yeah, he's just like... just laying there.
Yep.
But then Frank falls on the stairs, and his head is like laying off the step upside down, and he's talking to Scarlet. And I couldn't tell.
And they're like Vulcan mind melding at this last moment of his life.
I could not figure out what actually happened. So I think Lou Ferrigno was actually the bad guy, and he killed Tara Reid. And then Frank is like,
this is just nonsense.
It makes no sense. I have no idea. I have no idea. I have literally no idea.
Ryan, your narrative makes no sense.
Your narrative makes no sense. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I killed her.
It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. Your grandfather, Matthew Bradley, they were dissonants. They weren't men. But now you are.
But Frank dies.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, but he's like, he was proven innocent, I think.
I guess.
And then the credits start rolling, and we get one credit that just says directed by Winter Cross or whatever the fuck, White Cross, I believe is this guy's name.
What a name.
Then we get a mid-credit scene, Kyle, and the mid-credit scene is 100% just random clips that they didn't use anywhere else. One of them is, I swear, the crew it's two of the lead actors, and I'm pretty sure the guy driving this truck is the writer of the film, because I looked up the writer and it looks like him.
Okay.
And I think it's just a crew van backing up to the house, like on the first day of filming or whatever, like, and that's in there.
Yeah,
Then we get a random shot of the valley. Just like a nighttime shot of the valley. Then we get like a 10-second shot of the front of the house.
And
then the credits. That was nothing.
What is this? Why?
That was nothing.
Why?
That was nothing. I don't know what the fuck. I think it's bad.
It's bad because
it could go either way on this one.
there's good bad elements.
Oh my god.
To a bad structure.
I can almost go good bad. It's so close.
Yes.
It's so close because it's fucking nonsense. The audio's terrible. The story
is insane. The last 20 minutes alone are just nonsense.
Chaos. It's like they were making it up as they went.
Yeah.
Like literally just like, and then you crawl over to him and hit him, and then but who's the bad guy? Who fucking cares who the bad? Like no, none of it makes any sense. It's just chaos, which is kind of interesting to watch, but also kind of infuriating. So I don't know if I would recommend it. Okay. Well, you can support us by going over to patreon.com/GBorBB and give us a couple bucks a month. That'd be super helpful. You can also support us by buying our merch. Just go to tpublic.com.
What? I actually got merch.
There you go. Search for Quantum Physics or Good, Bad, or Bad.
You could be really cool and have a shirt like this.
You absolutely could. It'd be super duper nifty of you to do that. So go look. You go do all that stuff. You could also do me a favor by checking out my podcast. I have a podcast called This Film Is Lit, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, the most recent episode will have been Freaky Friday. We're not to the last. That one's further down the road.
Is that the
It's been adapted a bunch of times, but the one we're doing is the one with Lindsay Lohan and
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, yes. So yeah,
I'm sorry.
Freaky Friday. I've actually never seen that movie, so I don't know. It's who knows? We'll see. Also, the other thing you could do is check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv. Look, it's on the screen. I'm so sweaty and I'm so done.
Yes. Why are you sweating so much?
I don't know. It's hot in here. Well, the air stopped running for like a while ago, and I don't know why. I think it's because it's not that hot outside. But this room.
Is there a reason I'm not sweating?
This room. Well, I was also like yelling. I worked up a lather, shall we say? But this room is like 50 degrees hotter than every other room.
If you pay our new Patreon subscription of $50 a month, you can get your own container of Brian's sweat.
I will bottle my sweat and sell it to you if you want. Like it, and we could get it per episode. It could be like, this sweat came from the recording of. New niche way to make money. All right, only sweat. Here we go. Let's do it. The end.